Hi guys, my name is Nonima Tikela. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I want us to talk about Sibanda's cross-examination. My goodness, what a mess. Oh, what a mess. You don't need to say it twice, Sana. What a mess. So the cross-examination by Advocate Sibanda of Sergeant Mudau was one of those sessions where the state was clearly trying to regain control of a narrative that has been slipping away from them ever since the cell phone issue exploded in court. What made this cross-examination important is that Mudau was not just testifying as an individual officer. She effectively became the institutional voice of South African Police Services at Valeria Police Station. Her evidence was about systems, cell phone inspections, procedures, custody protocols, occurrence books, and what should happen if a detainee is found with contraband like a cell phone. Okay? That matters because the defense theory is no longer just the police made mistakes. The defense is now building towards something much more dangerous for the state, that the alleged cell phone recovery story may have been reconstructed later to support the broader confession and location narrative. And right now, I'm sorry, Sibanda understood that danger immediately, right? The first thing he tried to do was narrow Mudau's evidence so that it sounded procedural rather than absolute. He repeatedly pushed the idea that police stations are busy environments and that officers cannot observe every single movement at every moment, and that detainees can sometimes hide items despite searches. Strategically, that line of questioning was designed to create reasonable room for the cell phone to exist without documentation. And Mudau was like, I will tell you, logo, and that is not true, and I'm going to prove it to you. Okay? But Mudau's answers kept creating a problem for him. Every time Sibanda attempted to introduce flexibility into the system, Mudau pulled it back toward procedure and accountability. Her evidence consistently reinforced that if a cell phone had genuinely been discovered inside the cells, there should ordinarily be a documentary trail, OB entry, confiscation process, possible SEPS-13 handling, recording of contraband, reporting structures, and chain of custody continuity. That was devastating because the defense does not even need to prove fabrication directly. They only need to show procedural improbability. Once the paper chain collapses, the court starts asking whether the later evidence is truly linked to the original alleged recovery. And now, unzima again for state because everything is not going according to plan. The real tension in Sibanda's cross-examination came from his attempt to separate ideal procedure from real-world practice. This is why he kept leaning into practical realities. Stations are busy, officers rotate, inspections happen quickly, not every event becomes memorable. 1 hour inspections do not mean an officer spends an hour standing in front of one detainee. On paper, that sounds logical, right? The problem is that Mudau did not present herself as confused or uncertain. She presented herself as someone deeply familiar with station procedures and protective of institutional integrity. That changes the emotional balance in court, Kesana, because what are you trying to do, Sibanda? A witness who sounds hesitant gives the prosecutor room to rehabilitate the state case. A witness who sounds grounded and methodical can unintentionally strengthen the defense simply by sounding credible. And that is exactly what happened. Another major issue was Sibanda's apparent effort to normalize the possibility that something could happen without a corresponding record. That was wow for me. But this collided directly with the broader defense theme around the missing occurrence books and undocumented movements. Once the defense has already spent weeks arguing that records are either missing, booked out, or incomplete, every additional undocumented event becomes more suspicious, not less. So Sibanda, no matter what he tries, he can't argue ukuthi this incident happened. He can't do that. He can prove it. And we have people that are saying we don't know anything about it. They are from Valeria police station, so he can force himself onto the situation. So instead of weakening the defense theory, parts of Sibanda's cross-examination arguably strengthened it. This deeper legal danger for the deeper legal danger for the state is this. If the cell phone recovery becomes unreliable, then several downstream evidentiary pillars become vulnerable. Cell phone tower linkage, communication timelines, movement inferences, alleged coordination narratives, and portions of the confession contents. Zizophuma ngewindow. Yeah, of the sun. That is why the defense has become obsessed with chain of custody rather than merely arguing assault allegations. They understand that documentary continuity is what converts an object into admissible, trustworthy evidence. The courtroom psychology was also fascinating. Sibanda appeared frustrated at times because he could not easily corner Mudau into contradictions. Instead, he often ended up arguing with the logic of the station's procedures themselves. That is a dangerous place for a prosecutor to be, because once you start sounding like you are fighting the institution's own rules, the court begins wondering why, even if that court is Judge Ratamokhwatleng. Yebo, even if it's him. One of the biggest moments underneath the surface was the contrast between oral testimony and documentary evidence. Mudau essentially reinforced a principle the defense has repeated for months. If it was not recorded properly, later reconstruction becomes difficult to trust. That principle hangs over almost every disputed issue in this trial now. Arrests, movements, interrogations, confessions, cell phone handling, and detention conditions. So everything is questionable now. The defense strategy under Advocate Ramsipile is becoming clearer by the day. They are not trying to win through one dramatic contradiction. They are trying to create cumulative institutional doubt. One missing entry alone may mean nothing. One undocumented movement may mean nothing. One unclear chain may mean nothing. But when dozens of procedural fractures begin connecting together, the court starts asking whether the investigation itself became condemnated, even if that court is Judge Ratamokhwatleng. Even if it's him, he will ask those questions. And Mudau's testimony, especially under Sibanda's cross-examination, added another brick to that wall. What made the session especially powerful is that the witness did not come across as someone trying to defend the accused. She came across as someone defending station procedure. Ironically, that can sometimes help the defense more than an openly hostile witness ever could. The state needed Mudau to soften the procedural gaps. Instead, much of her defense reinforced why those gaps matter a lot. And right now, no matter how Sibanda or Baloyi or Judge Rata can fight this, the bottom line is that the cell phone issue is a lie. I am going to say it in all my videos. The cell phone issue is a lie. If it's not recorded and the people from Valeria police station know nothing about, it is a lie. Facts now. It's a lie because people from Valeria police station know nothing about it. So why should we believe anything else other than that? Why should we believe anything else other than that? It is a lie. That cell phone issue does not make sense and it will never make sense. So, and another thing that we have noticed as people that are observing the Senzo Mewa case is that whenever things are looking kokai, there is something offish about them. Baloyi gives Sibanda to do cross-examination. I don't know if you guys have noticed that. It will be Sibanda who's doing cross-examination, no one else. Whenever things look a bit kokai, Sibanda is the one that is going to do cross-examination. I don't know about you, but it is what it is. Let's talk with comment section. I want to hear your views. Thank you so much. Please make sure you do not forget to like, to share, to comment, and most importantly, please make sure you are subscribed on the channel. Please make sure you are watching the videos up until the end, and you are watching the ads that are coming through. When you are doing that, you'll be supporting this channel financially and in numbers. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Now, please go on. Make sure you give me your what are your thoughts when it comes to all of this? Bye-bye.